Hey everyone, today we are diving deep into the psychology of discipline, specifically how to make it actually work. If you've ever felt like your rewards and punishments just aren't landing, or maybe they're even making things worse, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to break it all down into two super simple golden rules that honestly, they change everything. So let's get right into it. I mean, have you ever been there? You try to correct a behavior, but it feels like it just blows up in your face. Maybe it creates a ton of resentment, or it just doesn't change a thing. It is so frustrating, right? Well, today we're going to unpack exactly why that happens and, way more importantly, how to fix it for good. Okay, so before we get to the rules, let's just get on the same page about what the goal is here. Anytime you use discipline, whether it's a reward or a punishment, the mission is simple. You're trying to do one of two things. Either make a good behavior happen more often or make a bad behavior happen less often. That's it. This isn't about getting angry or letting off steam. It's about being strategic. So, how do we actually pull that off? Well, it all comes down to these two incredibly powerful, but so often overlooked, principles: clarity and proximity. Seriously, once you get these two down, you've got the master key to making discipline actually work. Let's break them down. So rule number one is clarity. This means the child has to know, without a shadow of a doubt, exactly which action led to this consequence. No guesswork. And rule number two is proximity. This one's about timing. The reward or punishment has to happen as close to the behavior as humanly possible. These two rules apply to everything, and you gotta have both. If you miss just one, the whole thing can completely fall apart. All right, let's see what happens when these rules get broken. We'll start with punishment, because this is where things can go wrong fast. We're gonna look at a classic case study of what not to do.
Okay, so just look at this timeline. At 9 in the morning, a child misbehaves. The mother decides, you know what, I'm going to wait for the father to get home. Then, a few hours later, around 2 p.m., the child does a chore, something helpful like washing the dishes. Then, at 7 p.m., that's a full 10 hours later, the father finally gets home and delivers the punishment for what happened way back in the morning. And here is the huge problem with that massive delay. Our brains, and especially a child's brain, learn by connecting things that happen close together. When the consequence is hours and hours later, that mental link between the bad behavior and the punishment, it's just incredibly weak. It might as well not even be there. And this is where it becomes a total disaster. The parent thinks they're sending a clear message. Don't do that thing you did this morning. But because of the delay, the lack of proximity, the child's brain doesn't connect the punishment to something from 10 hours ago. No way. It connects it to the last important thing they did, which was washing the dishes. So the message they actually get is, when I do chores, I get punished. And just look at the fallout from this one mistake. The original bad behavior, it doesn't get corrected at all because the connection was never made. The child just feels confused and totally blindsided, which doesn't lead to learning. It leads to resentment. And the worst part, you've now accidentally punished a good behavior, making it way less likely they'll ever want to help out again. Okay, so that's what not to do. Enough of the doom and gloom. Let's flip this whole thing around and look at rewards, because the very same rules of clarity and proximity are what make them so incredibly powerful.
Yup, just like with punishments, clarity is absolutely everything. A random treat out of the blue is nice, sure, but it's not effective reinforcement. For a reward to actually change behavior, the child's brain needs to go, oh, I'm getting this wonderful thing because I did that specific good thing.
And here's what that sounds like in the real world. You have to spell out the connection for them. That little word, because, is your magic wand here. I'm taking you out for a treat because you washed the plates. See? It creates that crystal clear link. You're not just giving them something, you're telling them exactly what they did to earn it.
And of course, proximity is just as important on the good side too. The sooner that reward comes after the good deed, the stronger that positive connection gets wired into their brain. An immediate, wow, great job cleaning up, let's go get some ice cream right now, is a million times more effective than a vague promise of something at the end of the week. So let's just pull back for a second and bring this all together. When you boil it all down, what are we really talking about? Well, the core idea that runs through all of this is the simple power of psychological association. This table just lays it all out perfectly. Look, when you follow the rules of clarity and proximity, you create a strong, clear association in the child's mind. The result, the behavior actually changes, the child feels seen and understood, and your relationship gets stronger.
But when you break the rules, the association is weak and confusing, the behavior doesn't change, the child feels like they've been treated unfairly, and the relationship can really take a hit. So if there is one thing you take away from all this, please let it be this. It's time to shift your whole mindset. Effective discipline has absolutely nothing to do with being angry or being loud. It's about being a calm, intentional architect. You are carefully and deliberately building strong, immediate links in your child's brain between their actions and the outcome. So as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this question to chew on. And this doesn't just apply to kids. It could be pets or heck, even yourself. What is one small, tiny tweak you can make starting today to make your consequences, good or bad, just a little bit more clear and a little bit more immediate? Because that one small change really could make all the difference.